I know that it is not good afternoon for everyone because we have so many people who have just trying to awake and trying to open their eyes in that schedule. So first of all, I would like to thank for the organizing team for Udexia. I would like to thank the chief patron, Dr. Kunur and Dr. Jayashri, who actually by uh, continuing, support and all, Dr. Kunur has always motivated me to join this beautiful community of Eudoxia. And Dr. Jayashri also, with out of the busy schedule, she has bared me. So thank you so much. And I'm very happy to join this community. As I can see, there are different scholars and postdoc, achiever from different countries. So today, once again, thank you so much. Then myself, Dr. Shabana Azmi Malik, I am the principal in BFIT Group of Institution, Kingston Imperial Institute of Medical Sciences, College of Nursing, Dehradun, Uttarakhand. So today I will just talk about a small part of my PhD, thesis, which is the one of its kind, as I belong to the nursing community. So it is one of its kind of study which I have initiated in my that is Uttarakhand, India. So it is very a small part, brief part from that thesis. So the topic is genders, transgenders and sexualities in Uttarakhand. So I would like to say that still till date there is no such data available for the transgender community in our state. And as compared to other countries, if I look forward, there is no such facilities or the identity cards or initiatives which has been taken for the transgenders. But in particularly in my state, it is very the condition of this particular community is very pathetic. So my mother, who is no more now, she encouraged me to find out and just initiate the such kind of work so that the government can have a look of their condition and they initiate some schemes for their benefit. So as we know that transgender people have gender identity or gender expression that differ from the sex that were assigned at their birth. Some transgender people who desired medical assistance to transition from one sex to another identify as transsexuals. So this is given by Mondal B. Das. So this study which I have taken was a mixed method research. It means some of the part, especially the demographic part was the quantitative part and other was the qualitative part. So we have conducted a long hour, interviews to know actual condition of their different aspects. Basically, we have covered three main aspects: their physical aspect, mental, and social aspect. So we will brief that. So it was a mixed method research in with concurrent triangulation, and because the data was not known in our state, so I have able to reach around 2,000 transgender, but due to some hurdles, I was only able to get 139 transgender people as my sample size. So the method was snowball sampling and performed for quantitative data, and simple random sampling for qualitative part was done. And we have prepared a survey questionnaire and interview guide, which were used for data collection. So studies progressively show that transgender people, namely those who experience incongruity between their sex assigned at birth and concurrent gender identity, are at particular risk of their mental concern, psychological distress, and other indicators of poor life satisfaction. There are many possible chances that these neglected special group of population may have heavy stress and indulge in alcoholism, and gutka chewing or some of the other drug intoxication. So the broad aspect or the broad aim of my objective was that the study was to provide an insight on the current health aspect and condition of transgender persons residing in various parts of Uttarakhand. The objective was to examine the current health issues of this high risk population. So it was just a primary, research to know this population. Under the material and methods, it was a mixed method study which used concurrent triangulation, as I have also told. So we have used interviews by the study participant, and we have used survey questionnaire including demographic profile and different health aspects were developed for quantitative data. An interview guide was developed including open-ended questions for one-to-one interviews. So the brief result of the study was that in this study, out of all participants, the 120 trans women means they were born as male biologically but transformed to female later on. Out of all, 15.8% was sex workers as they have no job or due to their current scenario. The 8.8% were dancers. They usually dance in different occasion, like when the child was born and a different occasion in families, and they demand some kind of money and they, just living their life. Majority 68.35% population belong to urban area. According to data, 32.37 were in some kind of relationship which directly impose them toward the risk of HIV/AIDS. So if you look data out of 39, the first table, it is the comparison of average score of responses to their questionnaire on available health services according to their biological sex. The female were 59.74% and male transgender were 10.2. It was the majority of males who were converting themselves to the female character. Second one, if we uh, another aspect out of the transgender, there is different kind of transgender. Some they think that they are bisexual, some they are gay, lesbian, straight, and some they are still in confusion to where to go, and some of are just kinner or with some biological defect. So it is the comparison of average score of response to questionnaire on available health services according to what they think about themselves. So majority of they were like bisexual 59.32% and lesbian 61.12%. So this demonstrates that their self-perception insignificantly impact the average score of responses to the questionnaire on available health services with the P 0.758. Then another, if we compare the average score of response to the questionnaire on available health services according to their employment. So we can see that 63% they were sex worker, means they have, or if you look from the other data also, like they 59% they are dancer, 61% they are begging, 63.45 they were sex worker, then unemployed 57.5. I will say this another employment. This means they have not a proper kind of employment, but this unemployment 57.54 means they are totally depend on their families. And other means sometimes other people means they sometimes they involve in different kind of work, sometimes they are begging, sometimes they are selling something. There is no proper employment for that in this state. So it demonstrates that employment status insignificantly impact the average score of responses to the questionnaire on available health services. Let's see the education level of the transgender population in the Uttarakhand state, India. most of the population, they were intermediate. Like you can see, they were quite educated. 62.41% they were intermediate. 10 plus 2 they have done. Still, after that qualification, and you see, postgraduate people, they were 61.22%. Still, they have qualification, but other health scenario like their psychological aspect and social aspect and the view of people toward them, they are not getting the employment. Estimated that 4.88 million people, they in India, adults, they were adult population, which account for 0.04% of the country's overall population and identify as transgender. Use moreover, 55,000 children in India have been identified as transgender by their parents. It is according to the census of Government of India 2011. Still, we don't have the new census which need to be there. And it is also says that a significant number of transgender people, particularly those living in urban area, refer to themselves as trans men, trans women, transgender. Some transgender individuals choose to transition socially, means they have not gone through any kind of surgery or something, but through their dress, like men, they want to wear dress like females, and female, they want to wear dress like male, means their social expression. While only a small number of transgender individuals choose to transition medically or transsexually, means medically means they are taking some kind of hormone to change their physical look, and some of they are totally transforming their gender through the surgeries. That is called gender affirmation surgeries. And if we discuss with the other studies, different part of the countries, different study conducted by Blondie 2016 focused on the medical need of transgender person in Mississippi. This study found that 43% of transgender people in Mississippi identified as men, while 47% identify as trans women. Most transgender individuals in India do not have access to higher education due to of social shame and discrimination, which usually lead to inadequate health literacy while developing transgender sensitive health promotion and medical services. It is necessary to employ both a person-centered approach and a right based on point of view in planning and execution of these aspects of care. Another study by Shaw et al. 2012 observed that the prevalence of sexual violence in the last year was 18% among male to male transgender individual from poor area in southern India. The majority of people who took part in the study in Hyderabad indicated that they did not seek help for their anxiety either because they were unaware of where they could find the assistant or because they did not believe that their anxiety was severe enough to warrant seeking assistance. So the present study concludes that in this research article that there is an emergent need to consider all aspects of health regard to transgender population. Thank you so much. It was just the one part of the study because I cannot present the whole thesis here, but maybe in next session with the eudexia or with different conference, I would like to, present other aspect also. But overall, the findings suggest that the all level, physical level, social and psychological, there is emergent need to approach this population, and they need severe counseling and some kind of special, care hospital community program, so that we can counsel the parent, especially when when a female conceive. During that time also, the gynecologist, they need to counsel the couple while screening about the future aspect of the baby. So, thank you so much, sir.